it's not prime time on Instagram. I know this is not my regular scheduled time to be on the She Shack and on live on Facebook and on YouTube and on Instagram, but I have something I want to share with you. I wanted to pop in and let you know the She Shack is back. And not only are we back, we are better and greater than we were before. So I want y'all to lock in with me just a few minutes while you getting ready. Maybe you get ready to go out, hang out with your girlfriends, or go out and hang out with the fellas. Or maybe you have work in the morning, you got to get you some rest. Maybe you have church in the morning and this is around the time where you unwinding, Netflix and chilling and all of those things. I promise I will not take up too much of your time. But what I do, guys, I have a question for you. It's a burning question, something that's going to get you to thinking and making you maybe helping ignite your self-love, self-healing, and self-discovery journey. Now, you may be saying, Queen, I already know who I am. I know what I'm doing. I know where I'm going. I already love myself. And listen, even if you have all of that going on, this one question right here I want to ask you. How do you see yourself? How do you see you? How do you love you? How do you treat you? I want to know, how do you see you? And then I'll tell you why I'm asking this question. Why do I feel like this question is so burning? So I'm going to jump right into it. Like I said, I'm not going to take a lot of y'all time. It is Friday night. I'm all dressed up. I'm looking real cute. So I'm hoping that after my live, baby, that I can find me a little something to get into as well. So I took some notes, guys, because it is 2025. It's our time to shine. It's our time to recoup all the things that we lost. 2024 was a doozy for all of us. 2024 was challenging in one way or another. You had some losses, you had some wins. You may have some gains. There was so much that happened in 2024 that could have literally distorted our direction from 2025. So that's why I want to ask you, how do you see yourself going forward? It's not just about the goals that you set, but it's about what it is that you plan on doing efficiently and intentionally with your 2025 is the question that I want to ask you. So what do you see? How do you see yourself? And what do you believe about yourself? And I'm going to tell you why I'm asking those two particular questions about how you see yourself and what do you believe about you? Okay? And so the first thing is, some people say, you may be thinking, I see myself as, or identify myself as somebody that's trustworthy. I see myself or identify myself as someone that's a leader. Or I see myself, or I believe that I'm an entrepreneur, or I believe that I'm a good mother, or I believe that I'm a good parent, or I believe that I'm a good friend, or I believe that I'm a good daughter, or I just believe that I'm a good human. Right? And so I'm asking you, if this is how you see yourself, then the next question is, do you know what it takes to be that person as what you see yourself as? For an example, the attributes of a trustworthy person, do you know what they are? Are you walking in that, or you are just going by what other people say about you? What if somebody says, oh, she a nice person? You know, oh, she's so generous, or he's so generous, or he's so kind, or they're always dependable. I'm asking you, how do you see you? And the reason why I'm asking you that is because it's so profoundly important about how you see you versus how somebody else sees you. The one person that we should, I'm not telling you what to believe, I'm not telling you who to believe in, but what I am saying is, what we would like to mimic ourselves behind, or want to know how somebody sees us or believe in us or trust us, is our creator. how our creator see us. And so how do you want him to see you? Do you know any of it? Have you determined, hey, I'm committed to being a dependable person, right? And so if you're saying you committed to being a dependable person, that means no excuses. You're going to always show up. You're going to be a person of your word, and your word is your bond. And let me tell you something. I'm going to give you a good example of how you can be a, what did it say, baby? Let me know. I'm already live. Okay, so I'm sorry for the interruption. So what I want to say to you is sometimes when we're not being efficient and we're not scheduling properly and we're not doing things as we should be doing them, then guess what happens? We can exude that we are not a dependable person because we put so much stuff on our plate at one time that we're not able to show up like we say we're going to show up. So that means that you're not a dependable person because you're not carrying the attributes of someone that's dependable. Right? So the reason why I'm asking you, how do you see yourself and what do you believe about you, is because if this is what you believe about you and this is how you see yourself, then this is how you should be treating yourself. You should be treating yourself as I'm trustworthy. So the first person that you're going to show up for is you. You're going to show up as ready. You're going to show up for yourself on time. You're going to be efficient. You're going to be dependable. You're going to be committed. You're going to be honest. You're going to be kind. You're going to be transparent. You're going to be all of these things to yourself. Because if you can first do them for you, then you can do them for someone else or something else. That business that you know, maybe that you've been sitting on this idea that you've started and it has no completion dates. Or, you know, maybe you were saying, I'm going to go back to school, I'm going to continue my education, but you finding reasons and excuses and whys as to why you're not doing it, right? And so the question is really simple. How do you see you? What do you believe about you? And if you believe these things about you and this is how you see yourself, then what are you doing to walk in that light? What are you doing to be that person that you see and that person that you believe in? It's just that simple. I don't have a long, drawn out a speech or anything like that, but I am going to share a little bit with you about what I researched, because I had to really think about, like, dang, Beck, how do you see yourself? And so before I get into what I show you guys, before I get into that, I want to use an example. So the other day, I was sitting at the counter and I was working on my project, and a really great friend of mine, she reached out to me and said, hey, they're having a service at church, and I got so excited about it. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna be there. I'm coming. I'll be there. And as my husband comes into the kitchen and I tell him about my text message, he reminds me, like, well, how you gonna do that? And you supposed to be doing the She Shack on Friday. And I was like, oh, that's right. How am I doing? I'm like, okay, so I'll postpone the She Shack. And then immediately my spirit was convicted, like, no, you can't postpone the She Shack because you promised all, you know, the people that support you and that believe in you and that's behind you that you was going to show up on Friday. So how are you going to postpone that? So then I'm like, okay, I'm just going to do it on Saturday, the She Shack. I'm going to go get my nails done on Friday. I'll leave from there. I'll go to the service in efforts to be a person of my word, to be committed to what I say. So let me just tell you, when you're disorganized and you don't plan out things and you're quick to answer and you don't check that calendar first, you can definitely have yourself appearing that you're not dependable and that you're not showing up and you're failing as a friend, right? And so I say that because that was a learning lesson for me, to not be so quick to be led by my emotion and my excitement of a situation, to not check my calendar and make sure that that's something that I can commit myself to doing before I speak. Which leads me into this, the very first thing that I think that is so profoundly important in our personal growth journey is to think before we act. To think before we actually do something. before we do it. If you're thinking about buying a new car, or if you like something huge, something life changing, something like that, you need to think about it first. Give yourself a little 24-hour window of time to realize if that's something you want to do or not want to do, or what that thing is, how that thing is going to impact you in the long run. Like, it's more like doing something now that your future self will thank you for later. That makes sense? So just think about that for a minute. But before I go any further into my conversation, I just want to send a couple shout outs to those that has popped in with me, that's hanging out with me on a Saturday night where we are not scheduled. It was not planned. We was not supposed to be here, but God said this is what you supposed to do. Show up on a non-prime time social media. This is not a prime time on any social media. 8:30 on a Saturday night is not a recommended time to be live, to be talking about anything, let alone something that's related to goals or personal growth. But yet and still, here we are. So thank you so much. I see is that Dr. Ja? Oh my God. Dr. Ja, hi. Happy New Year to you. I love you so much. She is amazing. Y'all know Dr. Ja has been on the She Shack. She's a friend to the She Shack. She's been here many, many times. Last year, 2024, she kicked off our effective communication series, and she gave us a wealth of information related to how we can become effective communicators and how we also can be effective listeners. And just those two attributes could profoundly to our relationships in a positive way. So thank you so much, Dr. John, for popping in and hanging out with us. A huge shout out to my husband. Thank you so much. I love you for always supporting my endeavors and supporting the She Shack. And so again, guys, I just wanted to ask you a question. How do you see yourself, and what do you believe about you? And when you can answer those questions, I also want you to put them into positive and powerful I am statements. I want you to speak it into existence. I want you to not just say it, but I want you to believe it. I want you to so I'm going to give you an example. Of some powerful I am statements. I wrote a few of them down because I want you to have an idea of how you can speak life and power and boldness and security and confidence into your life and into your journey. So some powerful I am statements would include something like, I am a conqueror. I am a great leader, or I am a trustworthy person. I am honest. I'm a great woman. I'm a great daughter. I'm a great mate. If you're a wife, I'm a great wife. I am the head and not the tail. I am a lender and not a borrower. I am a believer. I am wise. I am knowledgeable. I am kind. I am humble. I am a giver. Those are positive and bold. I am confident in my ability to do what? For me, I am confident in my ability to be a public speaker. I am confident in my ability to encourage and motivate and inspire other people to follow behind their dreams and to go behind their aspirations. Don't let anything hold you back. There is no acceptable excuse. I don't care at what age it is. You can attain whatever it is that you set out to do. And not only can you do it, you can do it efficiently. You can do it with great success. You can do it with boldness. You can do it with confidence, right? And so when I say to you, embark on this self-love journey, on this self-discovery journey, on this healing journey, do it with boldness, do it with confidence, do it with security. Do it without worrying about how somebody else is going to think about you or what they're going to believe about you, because it's not important. The only person that is important, the only opinion that truly matters about you is the opinion opinion of your creator. So your objective is to walk with boldness and on a journey and follow the light and the guidance of your creator, that you will not disappoint him, because he's always with you. He can always see you. He knows what we're doing, what we're saying, even if it's nothing in secret, right? You might be like, all right, Jesus, I need you to turn your head a little bit because I got something I want to say and I don't want you to hear. That's like just always holding ourselves accountable for the things that we say and what we do and how we live. It is so profoundly and immensely important. Okay, so it's important how you see yourself. It's important what you believe about you, and it's also as important is not to be worried about what other people say and do and believe about you. Don't be afraid to embark on this journey, because it may be something that people might not understand. Oh, she acting different. Oh, she funny acting. She thinks she too much. Oh, now she done found her little Jesus or somebody. Now she thinks she better than everybody else. Baby, listen, it doesn't matter. When I say it really does not matter what other people are going to say and think about you, regardless if you're walking in your light and you're living out your truth and you're being your authentic self, or if you're sitting out here and you're in your trash days and you're wasting time and you're not, they still gonna talk. It doesn't matter which way it goes. Somebody is creeping in on the She Shack. Creeping in with my camera wasn't right.
I got you, baby. Do you think?
Okay, so listen, it's Saturday night, so you know it's here.
That's right, I'm here.
Yeah, guys. So I just wanted to share that with you, though. It's how do you see yourself? What do you believe about you?
There's no cursing in it.
How do you see yourself, and what do you believe?
Oh, I'm the best. I am somebody. I'm going back and he coming with some old corny speech, but at the end of the day, guys, all seriousness, all jokes aside, it is really, really important for us to understand how we see ourselves and what we believe about us, and actually how we treat ourselves. I was having a conversation earlier today, and we was talking about this very topic, and what really that came out of it was one of the things that came out of it was about how we see ourselves and how we treat ourselves, and versus how we expect someone that we date to treat us. The expectation that we have from them versus how we treat ourselves. For an example, right? We could say, if I'm dating someone, I would like for them to send me flowers. I would like for them to take me on dates. I would like to hang out. I would like to go to the movies. I would like to take trips. I would like to do all of those things. So the question is, if this is the expectation that you have of a person that you're dating or you're going to be moving forward with, then my question then is, do you do those things for you? Do you take yourself out on dates? Do you travel? Do you send yourself flowers? How do you treat you? How do you express love to yourself? It's a valid question, right? Hey, how are you? Thank you so much for tuning in to the She Shack. It's been a while, right? I haven't seen you guys in a little while, not like on live, but I see you in supporting the She Shack. We received 4,300 views just day before yesterday. 500 likes. I thank y'all so much for just supporting the She Shack. I'm sending a lot of love right back to you. Hello. I'm sending so much love and thank you and support to you as we continue to grow and this train continue to keep going, and we're gaining momentum, and we're going and we're thriving, and we're doing it together. And so thank you so much for tuning into the She Shack. I'm really super uber excited that you decided to join and listen in and invite me into your home tonight. You could be doing anything. You could be listening to anybody.
anywhere. There's so many podcasts, there's so many talk shows, there's so many lives that happen, but you take the time out to just engage and support the Sheshach Live experience. And I do not take any of that for granted. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So let me ask you a question. What do you believe about yourself? What do you believe? Do you use positive affirmations or I am statements to motivate and inspire you? And then the other piece of that question is what do you expect for a person that you're dating or you're in a committed relationship? How do you expect for them to treat you? What are some of the things that you expect for them to do to show you that they love you? Thank you so much for following. Yes, as a matter of fact, yes, you have. You have been following for quite some time. So when I say that, for example, it was a hot topic conversation in the girls chat. This was a hot topic, right? And so I was it was like kind of thought provoking because I was like, okay guys, okay ladies, let's talk about women being nurturers, right? And we nurture our children, our relationships, our friends, and our babies. We even nurture our plants and our animals. But how often do we nurture us? How do we nurture us? How do we take care of us and love us in a healthy way so that we would be, one, lovable, and two, able to love others and able to in healthy ways and not in broken spaces and not in places where we're unhealed and we're carrying baggage of maybe it was maybe somebody cheated on you, or maybe you was the cheater and you're dealing with some guilt for that, or maybe it was you're grieving the loss of your spouse or your significant other, or maybe it was financial troubles, or maybe it was just a traumatic and traumatizing relationship. Maybe there was some narcissism involved, maybe there was some abandonment involved, maybe there was some resentment. And these are not just relationships talking about husband and wives and boyfriends and girlfriends. We're talking about relationally, period. You can have resentment because maybe your mom wasn't there or your father wasn't there, or maybe you can have resentment because a relationship failed, or you could be dealing with unhealed trauma, or you could be dealing with unhealed losses like grief and things like that, and you strapping these on this invisible backpack, right, filled with all of this stuff, and you're trucking it along to the next relationship and the next relationship, the next partnership, the next interaction with somebody, and leaving some type of impression, right? You're leaving something like, they so angry, they so unapproachable, they so this and they so that. Let's think about that. We have this invisible backpack that we're toting with all this stuff in it. What'd you say? Let me see what you say. I'm gonna stand up so I can see. I don't have a big screen yet so I can see y'all. You come out and you say, I expect the same way I treat a woman with respect and love to get that back in return. But sometimes expectations are a setup for disappointment. I don't even believe that this sometimes that expectations or set up for disappointments. I believe that expectations is always a setup to be disappointed. Expectations, there's a difference between expectations and standards, right? And boundaries. So if I have a healthy boundary, these are the things that are deal breakers for me. Those are not expectations. Those are boundaries. Those are the things that if you cross that, it's a no for me. Right? If you go and you trotting in here with the expectation, I expect this man to be the best man I ever met. Okay, but why? Or I expect this woman to be the best woman I ever met. But why? What did they show you? Or what did they give you? What indication do you have to make you believe and put this type of pressure on another individual that they're going to be the best person you ever had? What did they show you to make you believe that?
What are you, what, and if you have that expectation of them, do you have the same expectation of yourself? Are you entering into any kind of relationship or partnership with, I'm going to be the best person, the best that I can be? And if you are doing that, I want to know how. What are you doing to ensure that you're going to be giving your best? Because if it's unhealed, that's not your best. If it's trauma filled, that's not your best. If it's resentment filled, that's certainly not your best. If you're dishonest and deceptive, that's certainly not a best. So what are we doing to give it our best and put our best forward? What do you believe about you? And is it realistic? Is it actually aligning up with what's actually happening and playing out in your life every day? Or are you one way or double-minded? Or you living one way and thinking another? And because then if that, and you think about that, you're kind of fooling yourself. You're not really fooling anyone else. But here's the thing. This is what I want to share with you, right? It's okay. This is the whole thing. It's okay if you are not at that level that you want to be yet. It's okay. That's the whole thing. You don't have to pretend to be at a level that you're not, and you certainly don't have to pretend to be a person or that you're not. Okay? But if you're working toward it, being honest with yourself about where you are and what you want and and your steps on how you're going to get there. And a part of knowing who you are and believing, what are you believing about yourself, is about being honest with you. Because if you ain't telling the truth to yourself about you just lying to everybody. You're just not a trustworthy person if you start off lying to yourself first. Like, let's get that out the way. No more of that. No more of that. No more of that. No more of that. 2025, we're going to be better. Better. Better, 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 better. Our motto is to be better. Our motto is to make success our only option for 2025. So being better means being honest with yourself and living out your authenticity, being authentic and not being afraid to accept you for where you are. That don't mean that's all you ever going to be. That means, okay, this is my slate, this is my starting point, and these are the things that I want to attain. You may not be the person that you desire to be, but you certainly can be that person. You certainly can attain the things that you want. You can certainly buy that home if you want to buy that home. You can certainly get yourself a new car if you want to get a new car. You can certainly go back to school if you want to go back to school. You can certainly find that mate for you that you can marry and have happily ever after. You most certainly can have anything that you desire, as long, here's the key, as long as that is aligning up for what God has for you. What he has for you. So how do you find that out? My mama always said this, and I'm telling you, it took me a long time before I stopped being hard-headed and I listened to what she said. And what she said was, prayer changes things. Prayer. The only way that you're going to know that what you're doing here on earth is aligning what God has for you in heaven is you got to pray about it. That's just what it is. It's no easy way around it. You can't get around God. He's the creator of everything. He created all of this. He created you. He knew you before you knew you. He knew you before your parents knew you. And guess what? He still know you. So ain't no getting around that. Set them goals up properly, right? Start with getting to know you. How do you see yourself, like, honestly? And what do you believe about yourself truly? And is it aligning up with how you're living your life every day? And if it's not, then there is where you start. That's where you start. That's exactly where you start. And it might not be a bad idea.
It's not a bad idea, guys. I'm telling you, it's not a bad idea. I know a lot of people, especially us black folk, we don't really be with that therapy thing. Listen, I'm not about to go be laying on somebody's couch and telling them all of my business. Baby, listen, I was once one of those persons that I was not with the therapy. I'm not gonna lie to you. But what I realized that my prayers weren't as efficient as they would have been had I had used that interception, which was therapy, to help me deal with some very traumatic life experiences. Life is going to life. It's not like life gonna life today. It might life when you 45, or it might life when you 26, or it might life when you 18. No, baby. Life all the time. Sometimes those situations is small and some of those are big, but guess what? Life definitely be doing this thing all the time. All the time it does. None of us are exempt. No matter how much money or wealth you attain, you still gonna deal with situations, but it's how you deal with them. That's your personal growth. How far you want to grow. Do you want to be better? Because if you want to be better, then you make no excuses for being better. No excuses for being better. How do you see you? And what do you believe about you? And how? How are you nurturing you? How are you treating you? Are you loving yourself with intention? Listen. Let's just spend a little time, just a little bit of time on love. Let's spend a little time on it, okay? Because the She Shake Live experience, we are propelled by love. This is a self-love contained podcast. This is all about loving yourself. We do not embrace the thought that loving yourself is a narcissistic trait. We do not embrace that loving yourself is just self-centered and it is selfish and you're self-indulged. That is not what we embrace here. That's not the type of love that we're talking about. We're not talking about a love that is boisterous. We're not talking about a love that is selfish. We're not talking about a love that is self-indulged. We're talking about a love that is patient. We're talking about a love that is kind. We're talking about a love that is gentle. And these are things that we have to start with ourselves. We have to be kind to us. We have to be gentle with us. Because if we're not gentle with us, if we're not even practicing it, because practice makes perfect, so if you're not practicing it with you, then how in the heck are you going to be able to be kind and gentle and understanding and slow to anger? How are you going to be able to do any of that stuff if you're not doing it with you? So it's important to be in tune with who you are. What do you believe about you? How do you see yourself? How do you talk to you? Do you be like, oh my God, girl, why did you do that? You're so stupid. Did you just call yourself stupid but let somebody else say that and you ready to fly off the handle and fly off the jiggle and boom, 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 boom? So if you're not comfortable with somebody else saying that to you, I suggest you stop saying it to yourself. Stop calling yourself B-I-T-C-H and stop identifying like that's something cute. Because it ain't cute. It's not cute to be calling yourself a B or this, I'm a bad B, I'm a bad girl. Stop it. Stop degrading yourself to a female dog. Oh, don't shoot me. 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 What you got for me? You said, I was thinking the same thing, that it all comes back. It all comes back. Everything, all of it come back to self-love. All of it. All of it. Because if we don't love us properly, if we don't nurture us efficiently, we're going to mishandle some people. We're going to mishandle some people. That's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. Thank you so much. Listen, I love when we have our viewers who are not only agree, but they're like, my thinking is just that. But if my question is, are you implementing that? Are you implementing that? Is that the trail? Is that your walk? Because let me tell you, it can get a little difficult sometimes. We can get so caught up in the hustle and bustle of life that we forget to prioritize the most important person, which is us, which is you. The most important. Don't get me wrong. Our children, they're important. Our parents, they're important. Our spouses, they are important. Our jobs, they're important. We need them. But if there's no you, there's no you to love your parents, there's no you to love your children, there's no you to love your spouses, there's no you to get up and go to that job. You have to take care of you. All of you. Mind, body, spirit, soul. You have to take care of you. That's not a diabolical way of thinking. That's not a selfish way of thinking. That's not a self-centered way of thinking. That is rational. That is logical, sound thinking. Yeah, that's what I got for you. That's what it is. How do you see yourself and what do you believe about you? So next week on the She Shake Live experience, I'm gonna ask y'all a couple of more questions about personal growth, right? And so what we're gonna be talking about next week is releasing limiting ideas that limits and stunt your growth, things that you may not even realize. These ideas can be limiting to you, and they can be hindering you from moving into the next level of let's say the next level to starting your business, the next level to financial security, the next level to purchasing your house, the next level to getting that new car. Especially now the tax season is coming. If we have any viewers that are like financial literacy in like wealth management, or you're really in tune with credit, and you can share some information with our viewers to help them understand like their credit reports, the home buying strategy, interest rates, the good time to buy, things to invest, things of that nature. If you are one of those persons and you have that type of knowledge, I would really love for you to come on to the She Shack and share that information with our viewers, because we are at a time where it's tax season and a lot of people are going to be getting their tax returns. Let's do something different this year, right? Let's invest in us. Again, doing something that our future selves thank us for later, instead of going out and just going and splurging it and buying, a designer bag or designer clothes or a new car or, bundles of hair and all this. Let's do something that our future selves will thank us for later, right? Doing something different, being better. We can't keep making the same decisions and then expect a different result. I definitely will follow you. I'll do it after the live. I promise I will do it. I would definitely follow you. And thank you so much for following the She Shack. And if you haven't, go over to YouTube and subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you haven't done it already, if you're not a YouTube subscriber, go check us out on YouTube. We have a bunch. The She Shack has been coming live, and you'll actually be able to see where we grew, how we grew, because the She Shack started in my living room. We was filming in my living room. We done filmed in my kitchen. We have filmed in the deck outside. We filmed in the morning when we was actually looking. The She Shack didn't have a place, but my husband, with his amazing skills, he built us a studio in the basement so the She Shack could have a home and that we can go live. I'm telling y'all, don't listen. I'm telling you, the She Shack studio is phenomenal. It is absolutely phenomenal. If you haven't been, you better ask somebody that's been here to the She Shack, baby. We treat our guests right. I'm from New Orleans, baby, so we have a whole bunch of Southern hospitality over here. So don't be afraid to come on over and come to the She Shack Live experience and share with us your story, or if you have some knowledge you would like to share that can be beneficial to our viewers. I would love to hear from you. I would love to sit down and have a great conversation with you and sip on now listen, don't judge me, y'all. Everybody knows Queen definitely likes to sip on her wine from time to time. So like I said, next week we're going to be talking about limiting ideas. We're going to get rid of those things, release them, get rid of them, ideas that limit you from being able to do what you want to do. Those ideas can also be fears. They can be hiding inside of fear, right? So I want you to think about that. I want you to think about things that could be holding you back because of fear. And started going back and starting a new career. Maybe you think you're too old, or, maybe it'll be money, or, or maybe starting this new business, or moving into a brick and mortar from, pop-ups or something like that. Just going to the next level, trusting that process. Just trusting, having faith and believing that God is a promise keeper, and that whatever He promised you that He will do, He will actually do. So stay in communication. Don't be afraid to pray. There's no right or wrong way to do it. Just talk to Him and have a conversation, just like we talk, because sometimes I do sit down and I just be like, okay, God, I don't know what this was about. I don't, but I hope you can, get to me and show me, find some value and worth in me. I hope that what I'm doing is pleasing to you enough that you can answer. God He said we have not because we ask not. So listen, start asking. Just put it all on the table. Just ask for what you want. And He want to give it to you, He'll give it to you. Don't worry about it. Just leave it there and don't worry about it, okay? All right. So with that being said, guys, that is all I have for you tonight. Thank you so much for tuning in to the She Shack. I promise I will follow you after the She Shack is over. Thank you so much for your support. I look forward to seeing y'all in the future. We will have some pictures and recaps from the show. So if you missed it, you just popped in, or you didn't have time to watch it, because it is Saturday night. It is the night that people go out, hang out, have a good time. They're probably not even watching right now, but watch me later. It's okay. I don't take it personally, because the message is still the message. The message is solid. The message is based on honesty, transparency, authenticity, truth, and I'm not telling you nothing that I haven't done, lived, or walked myself. Okay? Alright, guys. I'll see you all next week. She Shack Live, Friday night, 7 o'clock p.m. It's your girl, A Queen. I love y'all. I'll see you later. Good night, everybody. Thank you for watching. Peace. Bye. Good night, everybody. Thank you for watching the She Shack. It was such an awesome and amazing conversation tonight. Thank you so much for watching. I love y'all. Good night, everybody.